Hey everybody, Jorge here. So today I'm reviewing Neil Strauss's The Game. It's about pickup artist culture and the results thereof and the repercussions thereof. It um it talks about the life of of men that are so bent on conquering the other sex through uh, routines that they set up for themselves to attract and to entice the other sex into becoming interested in them and looking for essentially to settle a reaction from them with either through sex or a follow up date. So um, I thought it was a good read, interesting. It really, I mean, it taught me so much about, because they use seduction to seduce women into sleeping with them pretty much. That's the gist of it. And uh, they use all these tricks, if you will, to entice women. And I think that it is a little bit manipulation because they do manipulate women a little bit. They manipulate their image to fit a certain a certain agenda. And I have to say, I think that like and then they even invent lexicon for it. So there's something called an IOI, which is an indicator of interest. So if a man puts his hands, in the middle of a routine, and he puts his hands out and he grabs a woman's hands, if she presses on them, that's an indicator of interest. If she doesn't take away her hands, that's an indicator of interest because she has indicated that she's interested in what the man is doing. So, and they build rapport, which is trust and something else. Trust and confidence, something like that. But I also felt like, the result of that was that there's a lot of the result of that was that he was able to finally find his inner self and gain some confidence and be able to talk to women. And he he's a smart guy. He's aware of what he's doing, but at the same time he's trying to he's very like omnipresent. Like he's aware of everything that's going on around him and what he's doing, but at the same time he's like always analyzing what he's doing, like from a third person, from like a third person point of view. Um, and then at the same time, even though it is kind of manipulation, there's a lot of gold nuggets. Like for example, ultimatums. Like if a woman gives you an ultimatum between her and somebody else, that's a desperate cry for an attempt at control that a woman no longer has, and she tries to control the situation. Um, and he talks a lot about the problems with. Oh, excuse me, I have my notes down here. He talks a lot about the problems that with the pickup game, which is that it creates these like very uh, like clear, transparent uh, attitudes of men, and he even says that it presented inflexible standards of behavior that men were supposed to follow in order for men to get women. They have to behave like alpha males. So, and at the same time, they become slightly masochistic because they are able to conquer so many women that have boyfriends or not, that they're their view of women becomes a little bit jaded and they lose respect for them. And but at the same time, he kind of quali he follows up with a qualifier, and he says that women are just as bad as men, but women are better at hiding it in terms of affairs. Um, and she says, and then to further add about ultimatums, he says, just by asking me to make that choice, I say you're setting yourself up to be the loser. And I remember when I was in a relationship with my ex girlfriend, I gave her an ultimatum between me and somebody else, and she chose the other guy. So yeah, I can see how it bit me in the ass, and how it really has like these gold nuggets of wisdom, even though it has this frame of sort of, you know, very loose osmosis like behavior with transparency in terms of becoming, you kind of become a mold that just easily moves around, and there's the sense of self is really just played around with, moved around in terms of, you know, a core self. And there's one part that where everything kind of falls apart for him in terms of PUA, and the PUA community is when he meets Lisa. Um, uh, like the one itis that he had towards her is very strange because he contradicts himself in terms of saying, when the girl that is after him, that is not Lisa, tells him that she wants him, he says you gotta sleep with 10 other men to get rid of your one itis, which is what the men in the PUA community do when they're really afflicted with one woman. And uh, there's a sex metaphor that I really liked. I'm gonna. And it's called. This is this one. Reaching that moment of passionate truth, of surrender, honesty, revelation was my favorite part of the game. I love seeing what new person emerged in bed and then talking with that new person after our mutual orgasms. I just like people. I thought that was really interesting how sex really is about surrender, honesty, and revelation, and especially revelation. I think you learn something about a person, and um, I thought that was so elucidating, so mind-boggling, so eye-opening, because I have never myself personally, I don't I never I just it opened my eyes because it was about sex is about so much of that, and I never seen anybody describe it so completely, so clearly, and so fully with a lot of depth. Because a lot of people talk about sex, oh, it's this important part, and that's what they say about sex. It's important, but he really goes out and he really fleshes out what sex is about, and I thought that was interesting. Um, I thought it was interesting that he met celebrities like Courtney Love, and how she just doesn't give a fuck about anybody and does whatever she wants. Um, and then the woman that style the pickup artist in the story or in the book, the main protagonist, he falls in love with a girl that isn't a doormat, and isn't a girl that the PUA community actively seeks, which is a woman that isn't a doormat who identifies with the opinions of men. She lived the advice that women hypocritically tell men to follow to be themselves. So she was herself, and that was enough for Style to really fall in love with. And I guess the chase is greater than the catch, because she she kind of makes it hard. She makes it hard for us. She makes it hard to get. She makes herself hard to get. She she constantly uh, her the tricks or the routines that Style applies to the other girls don't work on her. So the chase is greater than the catch. Even so, it's weird because the person that he becomes is strange, because there is a lot of gold nuggets of wisdom in the PUA community. There's a lot, and they apply even though he puts all those rules aside. They apply even when he doesn't apply them, when he puts them aside. So, for example, she's being she doesn't listen to his advances. A guy likes a girl that is hard to get, and people want what they can't have. The chase is greater than the catch. And even though he put aside, even though he knew that, he still went forward, and he did a lot of the AFC things, which is like I don't know what it represents anymore, but pretty much they don't. It's like a guy that has no game, and he put that aside, and he still went after her, and he pursued that part of him that he was before all of this happened, and it worked to an extent because he got the girl. So there's a lesson for that, and it really shows and there's a lesson in that in and of itself. There's a lesson there. So yeah, this is my review. Thanks for watching. Signing out. Please like and subscribe.